This is the Level Up Podcast. I'm Taylor Petronovitch.
And I'm Kelley Gilster of 618 Studios.
And we are on a mission to help wedding filmmakers and photographers level up their businesses so you can make more and work less.
We want to help you confidently take your business from mainstream to luxury, and it all starts right here. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for joining us for another conversation this week. I'm here with my girl, Taylor. Taylor, how are you?
Kelley, I am so great. How are you?
I am good. We are kind of coming off of a little fall break for our kids, and we are happy to have a little bit more time with them during this slow season. If you guys have been listening to the podcast, you know that I have had a beautiful 3 months off of weddings. So I didn't have any weddings in August, September, or October. And then next month, we are going to end out our 2024 season with 3 weddings in November, which I'm really excited about. What about you, Taylor? We are like 10 days out from like one of your favorite holidays ever, Halloween.
Oh my gosh, you guys. I love Halloween. I mean, I love all the holidays, but yeah, I've been doing all the fall stuff. My house is decorated. We went and like bought life-size like skeletons, and we have them sitting at like a table in front of our like on our porch, and they're like playing cards. Like we like position their hand. I don't know. I think it's like
So
super cute.
That's really cute. What are your kids going to be for Halloween?
Okay. So my oldest is our most like I would say literal like kid. She's not, well, she is creative, but she like looks at the world in a very like black and white terms. And so for her, she's always like the classic characters like for Halloween. Like she's always been like a witch, a vampire, like those, stereotypical. So this year is a witch year again. So I think this is like her third or fourth time being a witch, and she's only 8. So I mean, she hasn't had that many Halloweens. She gets a new costume every year, but she loves the classics. And then my middle is a character from like Disney Descendants. Like it's like never went to theaters and like went straight to Disney Plus kind of like movies. That no one's gonna like know who she is like when we're out
They're going to be
walking
like,
around.
and who are you? You're going to get that a million times at every doorstep.
1 million times, yes. And then our youngest is Gabby from Gabby's Dollhouse on Netflix.
Cute. That's cute.
Yeah. What about
Um,
yours?
Sloan wants to be Minnie Mouse. And
Oh,
then Micah wants to be this like dragon thing. I'm kind of like splurging, and I'm getting their costumes from Pottery Barn this year. You're gonna die. Yeah,
whoa,
you're gonna die,
bougie.
Taylor. Taylor thinks I am the most bougie, but I've
You
heard
are.
really good. Okay. I've heard really good things about their costumes, and then I started looking at them, and then I made the mistake of showing them to the kids, and now they've just decided in their minds that that's what they're getting. And then I'm actually still undecided on what little Levi's gonna be. He's like almost 6 months old. So I think something like cuddly and cute and like huggable, like a puppy or
Pumpkin.
something soft or a pumpkin. Oh my gosh. That's like the classic. The baby is always the pumpkin. Maybe I'll do that.
You're like, he's your little pumpkin. I think it's so cute. Like, you only get a few years before they start like having a say, you know?
Yeah. My friend was like, we're going to a Halloween party for one of the kids in Micah's class. And so we're all going, and Paul and I aren't usually like ones to dress up. We're so guilty of that. But I think we kind of have to this year. So one of my friends was asking like, oh, are you doing like a whole like family themed thing? And I'm like, heck no, my kids are way too opinionated now.
Yeah, we've never been able to do that, unfortunately. But I always look at like the Pinterest perfect families, and I always think, how cute would it be if we were all just like characters from Toy Story or whatever it is, I'm always like, oh. Well, you know what? I feel like this is like kind of a natural transition. So Kelley gets to be super bougie because they make all the money. And that's what we're going to talk about today is like money stuff. You guys, if you have been listening to the podcast for any length of time, you know that like talking about money is one of my most favorite things. It is like truly my love language. And it's not because I have money on a pedestal. I do not have money as like some sort of like ultimate figure in my life. It's truly because I look at it through the lens of it's a game. Like to me, like business and money is I gamify it. Like, I look at it like a chessboard, and I, think it's really fun, and I also look at what money can do for my family and how we can bless others, and as much as it's, sometimes a truth that we don't really like to grapple with, like, the world does run on money, and if you wanna have a positive impact on anybody's lives, whether that be in your family or across the globe, the vehicle for that is money. So that's why revenue is so, so important. As business owners, we know that revenue is the heartbeat of what we do. So I love talking about it. And I think that money talk needs to be more normalized everywhere, but especially in the wedding industry amongst photographers, videographers, wedding planners alike. So, you guys, we're going to be spilling our big money secrets. So, but before we get to that, we have something very exciting to talk about. A few episodes ago, we kind of teased this idea that the industry is shifting, the industry is changing, and Kelly and I have something kind of in the works that we want to bring to the table to help filmmakers and photographers see more success overall and build stability in their lives and their businesses. And drum roll please, because this is kind of an unveiling moment for us. We are coming up with a brand new offering to you, and we are titling it the Revenue Multiplier. And what's really exciting about this is we are basically going to walk you through how you can diversify your income in the wedding industry, alongside the wedding industry, and outside the wedding industry as a photographer, filmmaker. And this is actually probably one that's really, really helpful for anyone like florists, makeup artists, planners, because it's about building businesses that can run parallel to your primary business. That is so beneficial in so many ways. And for Kelly and myself, has been absolutely life changing when it comes to how we run our businesses, manage our businesses, and in our family lives as well. So, we're going to be digging into like a bunch of stuff related to money today, our opinions, and how our insight on diversifying revenue. And the beautiful thing right now is that we actually are in this pre-sale period for the revenue multiplier. Now until October 30th, you can be the very, very first to get your hands on this for 50% off. This is a very limited time thing. We are pre-selling this just to really give back to those who are longtime listeners, loyal audience members who want their hands on this ASAP, because we are in kind of like the finishing stages of getting the revenue multiplier completed, which is so exciting. And it will be officially launching for the very first time in January of 2025. But for those of you who opt into this pre-sale period at like the screaming deal, like you guys, the ROI is going to be out of this world. You should hop on this right now because it's going to be incredible. You'll be the first to get access to the course as it is completed and dripped out to you, which means you'll be well on your way before all of your peers to earning revenue through multiple streams. And you can do that. Hop into the presale right now at thelevelupco.com/revenue, REVENUE. So thelevelupco.com/revenue. It'll be linked in the show notes in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube, all the places, because what we want your hands on this. Kelly, interrupt me because I have been talking for forever.
Great job, Taylor. You did such a good job. We are so excited for this program, a new pre-recorded course called the Revenue Multiplier, to be able to, like Taylor said, bless and give back to this community and allow your wedding business to honestly soar to new heights because you have the new blessing of diversifying your income. I have seen it firsthand. There are things and moves in my business, in my wedding business, that I never could have made unless I diversified when I did.
Let's talk about it. So, you and I both have multiple businesses. So, I mean, your list is a lot longer than mine. You have Illumelets. You're now half owner of the Level Up Co. You have a corporate commercial brand, and then you have 618 Studios. And on my end, I'm half owner of the Level Up Co. and Taylor Petronovitch Cinematography. And from day one, at least with the Level Up Co., like it has always been profitable. And so I know you have a similar story, so I'm just going to say mine really quick because I want to talk about yours more because you have more to talk about. But having the second revenue source has always allowed me personally to grow Taylor Petronovitch cinematography faster than if it was my only source of income. And I think that's true for so many people, because the truth is, if shooting weddings or working weddings is the only way you're bringing money into your household, then it can be really, really hard to take risks. It can be hard to put money back into the business because money becomes slightly more finite. There's lots of reasons why it could be holding you back. And not only is it great to earn more money, right, through like this diversified revenue stream, but it can really help your primary business grow exponentially faster. So what's like that story in the Gilster household?
Okay, I love this. So, as you may know, if you're a longtime listener or if you're a first time listener, I'm going to walk you through my story a little bit. We started 618 Studios in August of 2010. We started shooting weddings for $0, then $350, then $500. And now, sitting in 2024, we have charged upwards of $25,000 to shoot weddings. Mind blowing, but it took 14 years to get there. So, and I will say that this growth period happened exponentially about 9 years into the business when I decided that I wanted to diversify in a sustainable way. Now, I say
So
a
this is
sustainable
2019.
way.
Like,
20,
yeah, let's like put like
oh, yeah.
timestamps on it because I want to follow your journey like as if we're turning
Okay.
pages in a book. Yeah.
Okay. So let's start off 2010 weddings. Okay. We're shooting 30 weddings a year at anywhere from $1,500 to $4,000, I would say, for probably the first 7 years of our business. We were kind of capping ourselves out at that like $4,000 to $5,000 mark. Then in 2019, that's when I started looking outwards from the wedding industry on how can we take the talent that we have that we use to serve wedding clients and how can we use this in another way where we work alongside brands and commercial clients in the corporate world, all of the things that we have learned over the last 8 to 9 years. Let's start doing more and more of this. Now, sure, from the very beginning, we would have these like offhand corporate clients come to us, finding us through word of mouth, saying, "Can you make a video for my hair salon? Can you make a video for my mobile spray tanning business? Can you make a video for, um, like my offhand hobby of whatever it might be, collecting artwork?" We did one for like an art collector. So many different things, but we weren't doing it in a sustainable way, right? So we were trying to lump this all underneath 618 Studios, that we were just like a all in-house multidisciplinary video brand, and it took way too long for us to understand that that was not the name of the game. And in 2019, we were still trying to get those to live in both worlds, and we were really capping ourselves in the commercial world. So, 2019, I wasn't quite ready to split the brands yet, but I created Illume Lutz. And Illume Lutz was created because we had so many filmmakers coming to us for one-on-one mentor sessions here and there. We had grown our business now to probably about the $7,000 mark. So a lot of people who were just starting out in business wanted to learn alongside of us. And a common thread that we heard was, how do you color grade your films? How do you color grade your films? How do you color grade your films? How are you achieving these colors in your films? After hearing that time and time again, I realized I can diversify by selling the presets that we use and selling them to other filmmakers. And then from there, I just became addicted to diversifying, right? Because I started to see what that was doing for our wedding brand in allowing us the freedom to be able to be more choosy, to have more strategy, and be able to say no to things that I wasn't able to say no to before. And that was just holding my business back because I had to hold on to that scarcity because Paul and I at that point, we had no W-2 coming in, we had nothing coming in. It was just what we made through 618. So, 2019, Illume Lutz was being formed. We launched it in 2020, actually 1 month before the pandemic hit, which interestingly enough, I created Illume Lutz because we had had our baby, childcare is expensive. I wanted to look for ways to offset the cost of childcare, while not having it take out of our capital that we were making through 618. Very quickly, Illume Lutz had to start paying for our mortgage because all of our weddings for 2020 went away. So we scrambled and hustled and made it work, and Illume got very profitable while we were working super, super hard in it. And that was really exciting. And during that 2020 year, when we didn't have as many weddings on the books, we had finally the space to take a step back and look at corporate work, and that we needed to separate the brands. So that's when Westmade Films was born, and Westmade Films, separating it from 618, both brands exploded. I'm like not even kidding how much each brand exploded. The biggest exponential growth I ever saw in my business from 618 Studios and Westmade Films was between the years of 2020 to 2024. Like easily being able to like 3 and 4 times my prices. And so much of that was due to diversifying. I recommend to anybody and everybody listening that if diversification wasn't part of your 2025 goal, it absolutely needs to be.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, I think I think so many people they have fears when it comes to diversification. They're like, "Oh, well, I'm afraid that it's going to water down my existing brand or that it's going to send mixed messages, things like that." And Kelly and I have been both very strategic on how we've approached our diversification, and you'll notice that each time we diversify, we are creating a brand new brand. And that is because the audience and the way people should be sold to and purchasing patterns and things like that are different. A wedding client who is getting married is a very different client from another filmmaker or another photographer or whoever you're selling to in this diversification model, or a corporate client. Like they're so different. So having a single brand simply is not going to allow you to have the level of success you're looking for when it comes to diversification. And the fear of watering your existing brand down is so valid if you try to do it all under one umbrella. So like for example, if 618 Studios sold Lutz and they
Yeah.
also had a podcast and were educators and they also did corporate work and you're sharing about all of those things on one social media channel, like 618 would not see the success that it has because it would be so jumbly and confusing and non like specialized. We love telling our mastermind students specifically that like luxury brands are highly specialized, and that is absolutely true, and that's why we've both decided to like create offshoots, like new brands. And so
Yeah.
the revenue multiplier is very much so a business course teaching you the ins and outs of how to structure things, how to market, how to brand, how to sell, how to, some of like the inner workings of like softwares we use and things like that to make things really successful. And I mean, I think that Kelly, like everything that you have done, like outside of Level Up, has been very successful, and everything inside Level Up has been successful too. So it's like so fun to see like all the wins like tallying up, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that we're putting this all together in a course because, yes, we absolutely love the wedding industry and the luxury market in particular. And if you've been a past student of ours, as a mastermind student, as someone who's enrolled in the luxury framework, this course is going to be a really great stepping stone for you because we talk about how to maintain the integrity of your new luxury brand that that you're establishing or that you have established in the luxury space, and be able to thrive in multidisciplinary areas with your talent that you have, how to be able to show that and use that in other areas. So
Mhm.
it's just going to be so amazing. Without diversifying, as I've said before, we truly would not have the financial freedom that we have, the ability to take the risks that we have in order to see the true growth in our 618 business. And so it's just this beautiful, like, I don't know, just like it's just this like beautiful thing that I think so many people also, if you're looking for like, what is eventually going to be my exit plan from weddings, right? That's a
Mhm.
huge question that we see in so many Facebook groups. This course is going to be the first step in identifying what that can be for you, how to be able to gain that financial freedom to one day gently, gently, gently step down from the volume that you're shooting now and be able to step into something that's going to be very sustainable for you. These aren't just like quick wins and cash injections into your business. This is creating true stability and like legacy moving forward.
Okay. We have talked on so many things. I want to like hit a couple of different points, but starting out, like you can give your like how things look on your end and then I'll do mine too. But like if you were to look at your business as a pie chart,
Yeah.
right? Like what percentage of your revenue is coming from which areas?
Okay, so my revenues now, my main revenues, like I said, would be Westmade Films, 618 Studios, The Level Up Co., and Illume Lutz. I would say now, because I'm spread so thin, Illume Lutz doesn't bring in the revenue that it did, but in those beginning years, I was running ads then, like all this stuff, things that we'll be talking all about within our program. But I'm now spread a little bit thin, and I've recognized which areas of my diversification are just more profitable. So, corporate work brought in, I would say, about 75% of that pie chart this year. She's the breadwinner on that. And then Level Up and weddings did about split like equals from that. And then I would
Mhm.
say, so like, let's say like 75% corporate, and then let's go like 20% weddings, maybe? No,
You have 12 and a half
60%
and 12 and a half left.
yeah, 60, 60, and then probably like 20, and maybe a loom or whatever, a little less. Maybe a loom brought in like 2% of
Okay.
that.
Okay. So like
Yeah.
60% corporate, 19% weddings, 19% level up, and then 2% Illume.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's amazing. And I
Right.
mean, you guys, we're not gonna go into like specific numbers in this podcast, but just know that they're freaking crushing it.
Okay,
So
let's
two
just say
percent is
this.
like a lot. Like 2% is a substantial. You know.
Yes. Okay, so let's put something into perspective too. We were actually hired. I don't know how the connection came to be, but we were hired to shoot for a resort in Napa. This was in 2019, and they paid us $20,000. We had never even imagined that we could ever even hit $20,000 with our weddings, because the most at that point we had done was like, I don't know, maybe $8,500 for a wedding was probably, we had not hit the five-figure mark just yet on weddings. And so to be able to see that when we started actually pouring a little bit of effort into corporate and how quickly those $20,000 contracts came this year, we did a $70,000 contract for one of our clients alone. And so these are all things that like Taylor and I want to teach you how to do. Um, it can all be very, very profitable. The Level Up Co. has been a huge success as well. And if you're someone who feels like I have a lot that I can share with people, I want to step into the education world, we can help you do that.
Yeah. So like for Level Up, you guys, we would not be doing what we do with Level Up Co if we didn't like stand behind like the integrity of what we do. Like we know we are like helping so many people, we are changing lives, we are growing businesses. Like we have so many students who like are just consistently giving us like their praise and their testimonials, and it's been so fulfilling in that way. But we also do profit off of Level Up, obviously. This podcast is not monetized, if you've noticed. Like, we don't run any ads or anything like that. This is like kind of like our little like gift to you guys and like something we love to do, but Level Up as a brand definitely is profitable. Like it's a multiple six-figure a year business, right? And then on my end, like I know this is actually kind of fun to share. So I only shot 7 weddings this year and I made like, into the six figures, like over $100,000. Um, I don't know my exact numbers, but with only doing 7 weddings, so I'm like, that's great. Who else wants to like shoot like a minimal number of weddings and like make six figures? Like raise your hand. But Level Up made like my portion of Level Up made more than that. Like, you know what I mean? So I think it's great to kind of see those things so you can kind of have an understanding of people in the industry and like how they were able to get to where they were going, because you definitely need all the strategy. You definitely need the work to back it up. But having something like this really does help you um, put that strategy into play, because you can, like Kelly said, like you can be selective with what you share. You can be selective with what you take on as far as like clients, and you can be selective on who you network with and things like that. So it really, really helps. And then like Level Up, I've been doing since 2020 and it has grown exponentially as well. As soon as I brought Kelly on, like really, obviously, like we exploded since then. Um, but even back in 2020, I think it made like $30,000 or something,
Yeah,
which isn't horrible for like a brand new educational brand, you know?
right.
Like I'm still proud of that, like my bootstrap efforts back then. And basically at the end of the day is we love money talk. We are definitely like business owners through and through. We want your business to thrive, and thinking outside of the box is such a great way to leverage your basically like what you love doing, what you are good at doing, and who you love serving. Like Kelly and I love the education space because we love like sharing our experience and our knowledge and like lifting others in the industry up, and that may speak to you. Or you may be like, I just really love to shoot, in which case maybe you go corporate commercial. And we talk about like all of those different ways to diversify in the course.
Okay, so Taylor, let's talk about when you knew it was time to diversify. What was your why on starting the Level Up Co?
I have a few reasons. The primary reason is I think I mentioned on a past episode that I have like self-diagnosed ADHD, which I probably don't have it, guys, but I have some tendencies. And basically what that translates to is I thrive when I have new things to focus on. I can get very bored easily. And if I don't have somewhere to like switch my attention to every once in a while, then I internally as a human go crazy, and I feel very unfulfilled. And so always creating kind of like new things feels great to me as a person. And if it wasn't the Level Up Co, I would have like figured out how to like make earrings and start an Etsy shop, or I would have like opened a daycare in my house, or I would have done something. But it made the most sense. And I like am very entrepreneurial. Like I am incapable of having a hobby that's not like monetized somehow. So
Same.
it just kind of made sense. Like I also have a background in education, like my degrees in like early childhood education, and I do really love like the educational aspect of things. Like I love creating lesson plans and like thinking about how best to like lay things out for people, and like I love that. Creating workbooks, blah blah blah. So it's always been like something. So it kind of felt like just a really natural progression for me to like fill both of those like of cups that I have like as a person, like being able to diversify my focus while
Yeah.
also like giving like in the educational realm, like the lessons plans, the workbooks, like that kind of stuff. So it was like a happy merriment between the two. Now I started the Level Up Co in January of 2020. I started the podcast and like the Instagram account. And then things kind of like followed suit from there. And I will say that I only started my wedding film business in 2017. I shot my first wedding in August of 2017. So I'd only been doing this for like less than 3.5 years. So by all accounts, like I was still pretty new. But something that really stuck with me is I heard somebody say one time, all you have to do is be one step ahead of the people that you're teaching. So you don't have to be somebody who's already sitting at the top to bring value to people. All you have to do is be one step ahead of them. So obviously at that time, my target market wasn't people who had been in business for 15 years and already knew everything. It was people who had just slightly less experience or like business knowledge than myself. And also like I've never been one to educate on like actually like filming and stuff like that because I don't see myself as somebody who stands out and being able to like bring that to the table, but I have always had a really, I think, like keen business sense, and that's been always like my like superpower, so to speak. So I've always pretty much focused on like the business side of things. And so I don't know, and I'm kind of like a just jump and build a parachute on the way down kind of person. Like I'm not a perfectionist. I don't like make sure everything's like exactly how like I want it to be in the end before I launch. Like I just do. And I saw that in you too. Like you're a doer. That's why I brought like I like pinpointed you and I'm like Kelley would be perfect to like do level up with me, you know? And so I think it's like so great because it's easy to have imposter syndrome. It's easy to look at like everyone else out there already doing a really great job and think that there's not room for you at the table, but that's absolutely not the case. In fact, I look at it as the exact opposite. The fact that somebody else is already thriving means that it's a proven thing that I could do too. Like they're killing it. That means like they've paved the way for me. That's how I see it. Um,
Yeah.
so I can't remember your original question, but there we go.
No, yeah, why you started Level Up Co. And that's so, so great. And it's one of the things that I'm loving about this course is that we help those who are taking it decipher and determine what area they should go into.
Hmm.
Because the way that you diversify is not just to be able to make a quick buck or, get in there and get some cash injections into your business. It's how can I bring fulfillment to my life in another way? How can I keep things fresh for maybe my wedding business so that weddings can still continue to feel creatively fulfilling for me? I can say firsthand that weddings still feel as exciting as they did in 2010 because we have so many other things to diversify our focus and attention to. We're shooting um, a huge campaign for a university during the week, and then we're flying up to Napa to shoot a wedding on the weekends. And it's not like wedding, 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 wedding every single weekend. We are more creatively challenged in the best way possible by also having our corporate commercial brand. And education, I first got into videography because I took a video production class in high school. And then, I was a film student in college, and education was pivotal for me in seeking out where my talent lies and the love that I have for filmmaking. And so I wanted to also give back in education in that way. I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to be a full-time teacher while still having my cinematography business and shooting on the weekends and then teaching all week. And so, the Level Up Co. gave me an opportunity to be able to fulfill that void that I felt like I had in a way that I wanted to give back in teaching in this capacity.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like people who are drawn to the wedding industry, we are creatives. Like whether you're like Kelley and you're a creative first and a business owner second, or if you're like me and you're like business owner first and a creative second, like I feel like we all have the creativity part in common, even if it's at varying degrees. And I think a part of being a creative is the quest for newness, the quest for like new experiences and for like change. And I feel like having a luxury brand within the industry requires consistency above all else. So if you are having to be extremely consistent there, where else are you going to find avenues to branch out? And it should not be in changing up the way you color grade every year or changing up your branding every year, because you're not going to be able to build a recognizable brand that becomes like profitable in the wedding industry. That's just a fact of life. So if you have that itch, if you're like, I just like, I need to like spread my wings and do something else, or maybe you've been thinking like, maybe I'm done with weddings, like maybe not, maybe you just need something else to like focus on in between, right? Or maybe
Yeah.
you just need something else to like, I don't know.
Yeah. Or if
Yeah.
you're in a place where you're like, honestly, life is expensive. The cost of living is
Yeah.
insane. I need ways to make more money for my family. in order for my wedding business to survive in this day and age, this course is absolutely going to be for you. And Taylor and I are so excited to bring this new offering to the Level Up Co. Great next stepping stone for those who are ready to diversify once and for all and in a successful way. And again, as I've said it before, and I'll say it a million times again, in a way that still maintains the integrity of the brand that you have. That is key and crucial. It's the number one mistake that we see people do when they're trying to diversify is they're watering down their brand. They are breaking the integrity of their brand, and we are approaching this in a completely different way that is truly going to bring you a sustainable approach, a very profitable approach, an approach that's just going to be able to see new heights in new areas that you never knew existed.
Yes. All the good things. I feel like there's just a myriad of reasons why this is the move for most. This is the move for most. Truly, if you're listening to this and you're like, should I diversify? Probably the answer is yes. We all see, like, I mean, I think 2020 was such a great example of what can happen if you haven't diversified.
Yes.
Like, what
Yes.
happens the next pandemic? What happens when, I mean, even you see, like, this is so sad, but, like, natural disasters happen and, like, fires wipe out all of your local market. Like here in Northern California, we grapple with fires a lot, and like a lot of the wedding industry, wedding venues, all these things like have been destroyed. So like it could happen across your entire region, across your entire like where you primarily serve, and it could put weddings really out for a while. And it's really great to be able to fall back on something or have something else kind of um, you know help balance things out in the meantime. So safety and security, creative fulfillment, straight up just like doubling or tripling your revenue. All of the things I feel like as business owners, we need to really consider this as a viable option, all the good things. And for our course, people, if you hop in, Kelly and I will go into like the actual details and the nitty gritty numbers that we actually see. And I think it's going to be very eye-opening for many. It's like the first time you learned that like, oh my gosh, you can charge $15,000 or $20,000 for a wedding. Like I never knew this existed. Like you're gonna feel that way in this too because you don't know until you know. And once you know, then you can never unlearn those things and it'll consistently fuel you. If you're anything like me, at least. I don't know.
Yeah. And we're going to be the ones that are going to be showing you every step of the way how to do it yourself too. So we're so excited for this. 2025, you may not have realized is your year for diversifying, but we're here to tell you that it is. You just don't know it yet. And we're there to guide you every step of the way.
Thank you for joining us in today's conversation. Please help us reach more filmmakers and photographers like you by taking a screenshot and sharing it to social media. And don't forget to tag us at The Level Up Co.
And join us again next week, same time, same place, as we continue to level up the industry together.